Yeah, so when you're chronically stressed, your cortisol, which is your stress hormone, can be elevated past the
Okay.
point where we don't want it. Um, and all of our hormones are made by fats, and so cortisol. If you have too much cortisol, it can actually steal from progesterone, and then now you're estrogen dominant, and then that just can cause a
Right.
whole cascade of different things going on.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Healthy Living Wichita podcast with Go Time Training. I'm your host, Raymond Elliott, lead personal trainer at Go Time Training in Northeast Wichita, Kansas. I've been in the fitness industry for over 20 years now, and I've seen it all. This podcast cuts through all the fads and gimmicks to give you a science-based truth on all things fitness and nutrition, so you don't have to try to figure it out on your own. If you want to live happier and healthier and get the scoop on how to work out, eat right, and keep a positive mindset, you're in the right place. It's go time. Now, let's get to the show. Healthy Living Wichita, we're here. Hi, we got wonderful Casey. So, Casey, you've been on here before. You're back, but we'll always introduce you to everybody in case there's some new viewers. We just hit 1,000 downloads the other day off Spotify, I think it was. So that's pretty. I don't know if that's a lot. I mean, people have like millions, but to me,
Sounds like a lot.
That's a lot. It's 1,000 more than 100. So
it is.
So it is. Yeah, it's actually more than like 500. So, so we appreciate everybody. First, I'll just say that appreciate everybody that's downloaded, viewed, seen, shared, all that stuff. That means really a lot to us because we actually really care about helping people. That being said, Casey's our nutritionist, and she can tell you a little bit about herself. So we'll rock and roll.
Yeah, I'm the nutrition coach here at Go Time. Been almost 3 years. So
yeah, it's crazy. It seems like you've been here longer.
Yeah,
it's always weird. I mean, time goes by so fast. So it's like one part of it seems like it's been like 3 months, and then another part of it seems like it's been like 30 years. So it's always kind of weird in that, but it seems like you've been here from the beginning. So what I want to talk to you a little bit about is, I don't know, it seems like there's a little bit of stress going on right now. Right?
Yeah. It's a little tense, a little stressful times.
I think so, yeah.
2020?
Yeah. I mean, I think, 2020 has been one of the most stressful years of my life. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people in just different ways. Obviously, we have things with COVID. We had the election. We've just had so many things that I can't spend the whole podcast talking about. But stress is really, really a big thing I think people are dealing with right now. And we're seeing that probably even more so. I'm sure they're seeing that even like through the therapy world. What is, like, really when we say stress, like, what is stress? And I'm sure there's probably different meanings to it, but what does it kind of mean to you when you're dealing with people and stress, since you're working with people in the nutrition world?
Yeah. So for me, I mean, with stress, it doesn't, obviously outside factors like COVID and election, whatever, influence that. Life influences it. Could be a stressful job, stressful
Lucky you
family
don't have that.
life. I'll get there. But it can just be anything that puts your body in a sympathetic nervous system all the time.
Yeah.
On that side. And our bodies can't really differentiate between something that you're like being attacked by a lion versus
a fight or flight.
You're just like late for work.
Yeah, they see that with traffic. They see people that actually like would have almost the same normal sympathetic response as if they're like getting in a fight, which is pretty crazy, and that's probably why you see actual road rage, because it's actually your body's kind of in that gear anyways. I mean, I would never do that, but I know people that do, right? Yeah.
So then the problem becomes when when you're being attacked by a lion, there's a lot of stress, but then it goes away.
Right.
Once the lion leaves and now you're alive, whew.
I'm glad that lion's out of here.
Yeah. So now we can go back to the parasympathetic and be more relaxed. But with us constantly being stressed with work, with family, just being busy all the time, with COVID, we're just constantly in that sympathetic state. And so you're constantly feeling stress. And then that's when for some people, everyone's bodies reacts differently to stress.
Yeah.
And for some people, it's a little stress that triggers them. Some people, it has to be a lot.
Right.
So, but when it's chronic, then that's when there can be issues.
Yeah. I think Gary Vee says that successful people are just people that can handle a lot of stress.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much that is true, but yeah, definitely the world is stressful, and there's good stress. Even exercise can be considered kind of good stress, and our body can actually have some good stress. But same thing with exercise. once you're done with it, you can go back into that parasympathetic nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
So how does stress, how does that affect people? And we don't have to talk about like in every avenue, but we can talk about like how does that affect people when it comes to like their health and fitness goals and nutrition. Obviously, we hear of stress eating a lot. We hear that term a lot. I'm like, mine's like I'm just hungry all the time.
Yeah.
I have boredom eating, but yes, but some people are stress eaters, and then also I'm sure that there's lots of different things that it does to your body. So
yeah. So when you're chronically stressed, your cortisol, which is your stress hormone, can be elevated past the point where we don't want it. And all of our hormones are made by fats, and so cortisol, if you have too much cortisol, it can actually steal from progesterone, and then now you're estrogen dominant, and then that just can cause a whole cascade of different things going on.
Yeah, and that probably hinders and changes progress to some degree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can change your metabolism, so it's harder to make progress, and you still can, but harder to. And
probably have to go in like maybe in like more caloric deficit or something like that, which then also could be like a trigger, more stressful, and just kind of just keep going in circles.
Yeah.
So I can see how that could be difficult. So are you seeing that a lot now? People are a little bit more stressed, whatever everything's going on, like that's affecting people's results more now, or you see it's just still kind of like the common?
It's always been a thing.
Yeah.
It's just our lifestyles now.
Yeah.
We're just always on the go. And
I don't think a lot of nutritionists think about that. I mean, I think they're probably just like geared like in eating healthy foods, and it's just really simplistic. And that, I mean, nutrition is obviously very difficult, but I would think as a nutritionist, they're not always looking at the emotional side of things or stress side of things. We're starting to get more obviously in a mindset that's been like a huge change over the last 5 or 10 years with people. Thank God for that. But probably still just looking at eating healthy foods, volume, all those things that we know that help you lose weight, but they're not always taking in consideration how much stress. I think I talked to you. I have a client that is a doctor, and obviously this is a very stressful time for him. And that's a very common thing. And I'm just like, how can I help him?
Yeah.
And in the past with clients, I've more of just said stress is going to happen. Life's going to happen. So it's not really like lowering your stress. There's strategies to do that, which I think you can probably get into. But it's more like, what is your action? What is your plans when you are stressed? Because stress is going to happen. So quit trying to avoid it, I guess. But I'm sure there's probably lots of things that you can do to help out with stress.
Yeah.
What are some of those? You want to use the ones I used prior to this, or no? We'll go into all my stress release.
No. Some things I would just make sure like your digestion and stuff is optimized, because that could be a cause of the stress, or it could be your stress and then digestion goes off.
So digestion first could cause stress, or stress is causing digestion issues. That makes sense.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I just think digestive health is really important. So I would just make sure that's doing good. You're on track there. Obviously, make sure you're getting enough sleep in. That's an easy one, but can be hard to do.
Yeah, very hard sometimes.
Yeah. If you can do any sort of like yoga or meditation, that can be really helpful. And one, it's a yoga pose. I don't know what it's called, but one.
You gonna show us?
No. one that's really easy to do, and it might not even sound like a yoga pose, but you literally just lay down on your back on the ground and put your feet up the wall.
Right, and at the wall, yeah.
Yeah, and so it forces blood flow into your core, which forces you into your parasympathetic nervous system.
Yeah.
So it forces that rest and digest mode, and you can feel a difference. So that one's a really easy one to do.
Yeah, I used to do that one more with my clients off the table, and I forgot what they call that. It's like something to do with a baby. I can't remember what it is, like second trimester, or I don't remember what it was called, but something like that. It has something I would never really understood exactly why it had to do something with like a baby or like pregnancy. It was like one of those things. I'll have to look it up after this. We'll have to Google. But yeah, that is it. I mean, I think meditation or just deep belly breathing, depending on if you want to call it meditation or just diaphragmatic breathing, but that helps you come out of that sympathetic nervous system into that more parasympathetic nervous system. So that can decrease. And I do that a lot of times, just get a time where I lay in the office or something like that and just do some deep diaphragmatic breathing. And that seems to help me out a lot.
Yeah. I think going outside for walks and get some vitamin D,
why you do that.
which most people are low on. Yeah. And it's also nice, easy thing to do.
Yeah, it is. You don't need very much equipment for that.
Yeah.
You need a day that is not 90-mile-per-hour wind out, but other than that, you don't need a lot to do walk. I'm sure you could also do it on a treadmill if you had to. I'm sure it's probably not as beneficial as getting some vitamin D and some fresh air and those things, but it's still probably a light movement that helps out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if you want to take any like supplements, I check with your doctor first. But
of course,
there is a herb called ashwagandha that's been
really
helpful with.
Ashwagandha.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say it right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, that's amazing that I even said that right.
Yeah. But yeah, it just helps with your body adapt to the stress that it's going through. So if you, like, I've had people that struggle to eat when they're really stressed, and it helps them have an appetite again.
Yeah.
That type of stuff.
Yeah, see, people's always like stressful eaters, but I'm like the opposite. Like I was going through a lot of stress, and it was very difficult. Like I just wasn't hungry, which is not like me because I'm hungry all the time. I'm hungry right now, so I'll probably go eat as soon as we're done. But yeah, sometimes that can be the really opposite if you're going through a lot of things that it's just very difficult for you to eat. So that kind of helps regulate, and you can get that at any supplement store.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, like I said, I check with your doctor, but it's a herb,
yeah,
so it's natural. It generally doesn't have any.
But we're not telling you to go get it, but we're saying that is an option if you check with your doctor and they say that that's a cool thing for you to do, based on whatever things that you got going on.
Yeah. Yeah. So those are a lot of things I try to utilize with clients, and then, if it's something that's been going on for a long time, and if clients are really struggling to make progress, even though I think that they're really being on track and our calories should be low enough,
right?
Like I don't want to keep just digging them down.
Right, you don't want to. And we kind of talked about that can actually have that reverse effect where it increases cortisol, stresses your body out more, and you happen to keep going lower, and then you have a faulty metabolism and probably not a real happy client either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So at that point, try to get blood work done where you make sure you get a full blood panel done.
And so in a blood panel, they can kind of tell you your cortisol levels, or what do they look like in a blood panel?
Yeah, cortisol, all the sex hormones, thyroid.
Okay. So they can look at your testosterone, estrogen, and those things are like if your estrogen is risen or your cortisol levels are higher, then you would think that you're probably at a high stress level. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So those are all good things. I mean, I think those are things that people can immediately do. Like I said, there's so many people that are living with chronic stress and we don't even know. And I think you pretty much hit it. We were designed for fight or flight. We were designed to either kill or prey or run away from it, right? Yeah. But now life is like that. Traffic, your job, work, deadlines, those things, taking care of kids. All those things can be very high and stressful. And so I think a lot of us just live in that. And we don't even know the difference. Mm-hmm. And it's affecting us all the time. So sometimes just doing little bitty things and actually bringing yourself out of it is good. We all need rest, and our body needs just a time to change. I mean, you got all that norepinephrine and epinephrine or adrenaline flowing through you and causing heart rate and probably all kinds of. It probably leads to they say stress is the number one cause for disease. Mm-hmm. And I don't think they're always just talking about stress. Can be different things. It can be physical stress, right? It can be stress to the body, like alcohol can be a stress to the body, right? Yeah. It can also be de-stressor too sometimes. Honestly, I mean, that's some things that actually help me take away stress is actually doing something fun. It might be active. So a lot of times people's oh, you're stressful, you need to go lay down. But sometimes it's more of me of just changing my mindset and getting out of something. If I go out and having fun with friends, it's the small times I'm not thinking about life and adulting, all the other things that I have to do with the bills that need to be paid, the job deadlines that I have to get done, all those things. I'm just in that moment, even though it could be at a concert in a crowd of people and I could be up,
Absolutely.
So sometimes that's a big thing for me is do something that just changes your mindset, whatever that may be. If that's going out and having fun with your friends, or that's going hiking, exercise is another one. Even though I'm adding stress to my body, I'm typically, if I'm not working out here, I just need you need that time. I feel like that if somebody's always running on a treadmill, thinking about things, I need to just take them off. You need to relax for a little bit. So you need to have that same break as you would in exercise or recovery period. And people can do that through meditation. But sometimes I need diversion. Yeah. So that could be a big thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like all really good stuff. I know that a lot of people are stressed out there. And as we know, that can hinder your goals and results. Fitness-wise, it probably even has effect on your strength and those things I would imagine too. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're probably just, if you're mentally fatigued, and going through those things, I know that you got to be physically fatigued at the same thing. So lots of good things that people can do. We learned a little bit more about stress. Is there anything else? Want to talk? Are you stressed out right now? You feel pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I feel good. Speaking of, we just had Megan on for massage. She's showing up in her, what is that, a Challenger out there?
Yeah.
So massage could probably be pretty good stress. I felt really not stressed at all. I woke up in a small coma, and I was like, how am I going to drive home? Like, I thought I was going to get a DUI. I was so out of it. It was a 2-hour massage, though, which is a really long time to be somewhere. I'm not complaining. It was good. So that could be also a really good stress reliever, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Some tension in the body, too.
Yeah, other benefits as well.
Yeah.
So lots of good stuff out there. Kind of recap some of the things that that we can do to lower stress. If you could, for me, please remember all of them.
Yeah, yoga, meditation, putting your feet up the wall.
Right, diaphragmatic breathing. And that's like deep belly breathing, right, kind of. And then I was always told to smell the roses and blow out the candles, but I know that there's people do different kind of breathing patterns for that. But Woosah.
Yeah.
There you go. We'll do it here.
Yeah.
So, meditation, yoga, deep belly breathing with your feet up on the wall, walking outside, getting some vitamin D.
Yep. Ashwagandha if you want to go that
Ashwagandha.
route. And then if it's really bad, blood work.
Really bad blood work and see where you're at, and it's always a good idea to find out and be proactive. No, not a little bit. but nothing else is going to become bad out of it, so it's something that you can do and find out real quick. Well, thank you so much. I think that's a wonderful topic. I think I actually asked you to do it because we got a lot of people that stress, so I'm trying to help them out. So you gave me some education. I think I can do that. I'm going to, just as soon as you leave here, I'm going to put my feet on this wall for a little bit. So
okay.
If we can wrap it up. Everybody do it. Go put your feet on the wall. Do some deep belly breathing. Smell the roses. Blow out the candles or blow up the balloon, whatever one you want to say.
Yeah.
Shut your eyes and try to clear your mind for a little bit and see how you feel. I think that's a good thing to do every day, and we can prescribe that, right? You don't need your doctor for that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Casey, so much. Appreciate it. Anything else you want to say? Wait, bye. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Healthy Living Wichita podcast with Go Time Training. If you enjoyed today's show and want to get started with your own fitness journey, I'd love to help kickstart your goals. How do 4 60-minute personal training sessions for $99 with me sound? Head over to www.gotimetraining.com/podcast to claim yours. I can't wait to meet you.